Well, a week has passed. The first big issues should be solved. How does ACEvo feel now? Greetings from me, you're watching RomRom, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing. Today we're once again reviewing a sim racing product that could interest you. Thanks to all those who come here often, especially those who subscribe, and even more, our patrons. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. If you want to enjoy sim racing, subscribe to our channel and join our Discord. And if you want us to keep spreading the joy, become a patron. As I said in the news, we did not test Assetto Corsa Evo when it came out, as Ike and I were at the Sim Formula Europe 25 and Cody has had a minor operation which keeps him away from sim racing. It would have been a short review anyway, as Kuno's server went down and with it a big portion of what makes Assetto Corsa Evo special. Other reviewers have called this everything from messy to unacceptable and have used words like misery and despair. And that's from people who are fully aware this is an early access title and we're not expecting everything to work from the get-go. We've waited a week to let Kuno solve any big issues and give you our impressions 1 week after release, and as far as I can see, 4 minor versions of the software later. ACEvo delivers good graphics and the cars handle realistically. It's a pity though that the force feedback is not up to par, but that's something we've seen in other sims. ACC's force feedback went from mediocre to good enough, Automobilista 2's from meh to excellent, and so on. What I'm saying here is there is room for growth and we expect this to get better in time. The physics to support a good force feedback seem to be there. With regards to VR, the sim handles itself better than, for example, ACC did at the beginning of the VR support, but it still has some quirks like some pixel errors here and there, the menus loading up very slowly, and the opponents on a race disappearing from view in the rear view mirrors. Also, sometimes the graphics jump from VR in cockpit view to external view for what appears to be milliseconds. All of this I can live with considering the sim is in early access. While I was testing the VR support, the sim crashed 3 times, which it had not done even once before. Considering this, I'd say the VR support leads to crashes in the sim, but it can be of course coincidence. Contrary to others, I don't have a problem with the look of the UI. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Maybe when I spend more hours on ACEvo, I'll start leaning one way or the other, but overall it's not my focus of attention, neither positively nor negatively. Although I gotta say it's strange we have to bind pedals and wheel on different menus, and I had to reverse the pedals so that they would get recognized the right way. Which in the year of our Lord 2025 is anachronistic, but whatever. And that there is no calibration of the controllers is okay, well, strange. Luckily I did my calibration on the device's software anyway, and maybe that's the better way to do it. Another thing I gotta say though is that I find the lack of any kind of explanation within the sim grating. You find out what you are doing or what you are supposed to do through trial and error, which is not a good user experience, especially considering Kunos wants to expand their user base from sim racers to the general public. They should put a lot more work on the user experience, or the general public will go elsewhere to scratch the racing itch. I like the soundscape of ACEvo. It's not as good as the soundscape of Race Room or ACC, but it's quite good and immersive. It does sound a bit muffled though. There is room for growth here too, but the fundamentals are there. The only way to have a race at the moment, and that is something Kunos had made clear from the start, is by racing against the AI, as the multiplayer is not there yet. Only the AI is at the level of Assetto Corsa Vanilla AI, which is not specially good, and I'm being very friendly in my use of words. With regards to the car selection, there's not many racing cars here. There's definitely more street cars than racing cars to choose from. It may be a sign of things to come or just a function of what was ready at the beginning, but having racetracks to drive on and only a very restricted amount of racing cars feels a little bit contradictory, as if the car design team and the track design team did not talk to each other. Since this Tuesday, adventurous sim racers can test ACEvo with active server through a special beta branch. Therefore, I was able to test the Academy, which is not what I was expecting, while I hoped and expected for something similar to what GTR2 has, which is a school of racing, helping you learn basic and advanced techniques for driving fast. ACEvo's Academy is more of a way to collect experience points and earn some money. The more experience you have, the further you move forward in your pilot license, so as to be allowed to drive and buy different types of cars. And of course, you need the money to afford the cars. Only, at the moment, the car dealership does not allow you to buy any car. This being early access and Kunos having server problems, I don't know if it's a bug or if it's turned off. If you like what you see, how about supporting us? A like, a subscribe, or even becoming a patron. Patrons get access to exclusive content and are involved in our decisions. Help us grow with your support. This early access release, even after 1 week of Kunos correcting error, feels very rushed. Like we got an alpha release and not the beta I personally would expect to get. I know many people think early access is an excuse to deliver bad quality, but my thinking is that if the software is not at least open beta level, you should not subject your paying customers to this. If I'm being cynical, it feels as if Kunos works strongly on the graphics so that the sim looks good on trailers and the videos of influencers and left the rest for another day. For €30, I expect more bang for the buck than what Kunos have delivered here. On the other hand, it's quite similar in quality to what they delivered with ACC, which is not a good thing. It just shows Kunos have not learned. In some, you can drive around and even race against the AI even using VR. That's good. Graphics are good, sound is good. The AI is, there. The stability of the software is mediocre on VR, but good on pancake mode. The user experience is horrible, as is the force feedback, and that Kunos built a software that needs a server for a big chunk of their offerings, while not being able to have that server running from day one, and for the time being only in a beta branch, is unprofessional. Worth €30? At the moment it isn't, but if you believe in Kunos' promise attached to the early access that things are going to get better, and Kunos have a good track record in that regard, it may be worth it. If you don't believe in that promise, wait until the full release. We'll keep you guys and girls informed as we always do, of course.